We're back on Artsy, and it's time to head over to the studio with Michael Gadlin and Denver's own flamenco legend, René Heredia.
Give me a little history and background of what got you started in music.
I come from a large family, and I have, there were 7 boys and 4 girls, and we were very poor at that time, and my father used to play the guitar for us to entertain us, and my mother would sing.
Right.
So as a child, running around in diapers, I'd hear flamenco, and so that was our music, since I'm a Spanish gypsy from Granada. So the gypsy music is flamenco from southern Spain. And so I started listening. I was always hearing flamenco, and I always had important artists come to our house. And so at 10 years old, I started to play the guitar. And then at 13, I turned professional. And then at 17, I was touring all over the world.
Wow. So it's been in your blood.
Right.
I mean, this is a part of you. This wasn't just, oh, I picked it up. This was this was genetically into you. That's what your parents gave you.
Yeah.
Now you've won awards. You've won Governor's Awards, Mayor's Arts Awards here in Colorado and beyond. Yeah. What are some of the other things that have brought what flamenco has had you travel with? I mean, you've taught.
Well, I used to travel with 2 guitars and 2 suitcases for 20 years, and I was living in Hollywood at what point, and then I moved to Santa Fe, and then from Santa Fe they contracted me to come here in Denver, 1967, November of '67, and Denver was very tiny. It was only like 500,000 people at that time. And they held me over. They had me for 4 weeks contract, and they held me over for 13 weeks. So I was at the Third Eye Theater, which is on was on Third and Broadway, no longer exists. And then they wanted me to come back the following year for another 4 weeks, and so then they held me over for another 8 weeks. And in that interim, I met a lot of wonderful people and artists and painters and other musicians. So I said that, you know, I would try Denver out, and if I liked it, I'd stay, and if I didn't, I would move on. But I had to be somewhere where there was an airport, so I could fly out and do shows in other parts of the country.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It sounds like you paid your dues. I mean, really going around the country.
Well, I've done a lot of shows all over the United States, and I performed quite a bit. You know, in Denver, I performed a lot. So.
And so you chose this. You chose Denver. You stayed here ever since.
Yeah, I've stayed here. Yeah, a friend of mine had a house in Washington Park, and he was going to move, and he said, and I told him, if you're going to sell your house, give me first dibs. So he called me up and said, I'm going to sell my house, so I bought it.
Oh, nice. So how do you choose some of the music you play? Where do you get it from? I know there's tradition involved, and from your family had a big influence. When you play pieces, are they yours? Are they tradition? Tell me more.
Well, I play pieces by other composers, and I make my arrangements of other composers' pieces, like Luis Bonfa from Brazil, and then I also compose, so I compose a lot of my own music.
And what will you play for us? Because we want to hear a piece.
Well, I'm going to play a piece in A minor. And it's called a Farruca, which is from the Galician dialect, which is in northern Spain, which right above Portugal. There's a province called Galicia. And they have a dialect there called Farruca, which means Francisco or Frank in their dialect. And a Farruca would be a Francisca, and a Farruca would be a man, and Farruca would be a woman. So I'm going to play this. I used to play this with José Greco.
Nice.
So I'm going to play this now.